Welcome to the Franchise Freedom Podcast, where you can escape the corporate trap through franchise ownership.
Sometimes people ask, is it better to stick with one brand, add a complementary brand? And there's pros and cons, there's differences. I don't even like to say pros and cons. I like to say there's differences. And sometimes the options may not be there. Maybe an instance where the territory was sold around you and now you're looking at a complementary brand. So it's good to have those options, because I always encourage everyone to think out, what do the next 5 or 10 years look like? Are you looking for a quicker exit? Are you looking to create a legacy for your family? So these are all things I have them maybe not necessarily deciding on day one, but just thinking about as they expand their business. That's a big one. In our last conversation, one thing that really attracted me to Resto Pros, and we've helped quite a few people move forward specifically with Resto Pros, is the support. And not only support, the lines of communication are completely open, checking in with franchisees and things like that, which I think is a major differentiator. We speak with numerous brands, and the level of support is definitely on the high end, knowing what's going on with each franchisee, what their thoughts, where their needs are, maybe what their struggles are. Can you elaborate a little bit on that? Because you hear, and it's been, I believe, in a way, overused, responsible franchising. What is that? And I've seen it take all these different directions, but it really boils down to supporting communication. So can you expand a little bit on, or elaborate a little bit on what, how you work with your franchisees?
Yeah, absolutely. And I have to tell you, our level of support almost came by default. I probably was a little bit of a unicorn because I had zero franchise experience. All I knew is that there was an owner, they invested money, and we needed to support them. Right. No one told me that, we could suggest some things. Nobody said, hey, I came from a business where we owned these properties, we owned these entities, and it was over 100 locations across the US. And so if something didn't work out, you went to that location, you supported the team that was there, you put action plans in place, and we just said, hey, we're going to follow up with you and we're going to right the ship and we're going to keep moving. Well, in franchising, I said, we're going to go support them. We're going to put people in the market. We're going to put people in the field. We're going to have meaningful conversations with our owners, because they just didn't buy this franchise to let it sit on the shelf. They didn't let it just fall. But what we really recognized in the very beginning is a ton of our owners came from being responsible for somebody else's assets and liabilities. And now they're responsible for their own. What we did realize very quickly getting into this is we needed to help them set up their business, run their business, learn a new industry. And we dumbed it down. It was, do you know how to do this? Yes, I know how to put my name in here. Okay, do you know that you need this general liability? Do you know how to go down and get a business license? And so when you give that level of support, it automatically builds camaraderie within your company and a culture. And that is one thing that we really do mean what we say, is when you become part of Be Rugged, or you become an owner in Resto Pros or Scoop Brothers, it is just not a gimmick. It's just not a one-liner. You are part of this family because I take responsibility for, and so does the rest of our team. You invested your hard-earned money into a brand, and we need to deliver on that. And so I think really having the level of support and growing at the same time is always listening to your franchise owners, seeing, you hear one thing, yep, we're going to address it, and say, you hear 2 or 3 things, okay, let's talk to the team and see if anybody else has heard it. You hear 4, 5, and 6, we need to put a process in place to either correct it, either celebrate it, correct it, or why does it keep coming up? And I think having that impact of being hands-on and not waiting, when should we launch it? Not waiting, when should we change it? We heard you, we need to help, we're going to change it now, and we're going to keep the ball moving. And I think that has a lot to do with our success, is that we listen to the system.
Yeah. And that's it, right? You may think you had it figured out, but the people that are running their businesses every single day, they're coming across, there's going to be some issues. Maybe, I don't know, something needs to be it needs to be changed, whether it be the pricing, maybe the marketing, maybe the target, who you're going after. I think that's huge. When I check in with people we've helped over the years, sometimes they'll say, I feel bad asking about this, or they may think they're the only person experiencing that issue. And I said, that may be the case, but it probably isn't. And you should really check in with the franchisor. Usually there's a coach assigned. You speak directly with the franchisees. That's not the case for every brand. So I always say, reach out. If you're having issues, bring it up. If the financials aren't aligning, bring it up. Maybe you're accounting for something incorrectly. Maybe there's just a mistake in the chart of accounts. Whatever it is, go back to the franchisor. And it's amazing how many people say, you know what, I should have done that. Not sure why I didn't. And on the flip side, you may think everything is going well and there's no complaints. System's growing and some of the franchisees may be struggling. So I always encourage them, bring it up. And it's not to complain, but just to say, hey, maybe this isn't working. There needs to be a better way, or maybe we need some retraining and we need some additional support. So I think that boils down to, would you say culture, or we call it support, but it all kind of blends together. Support, culture, feedback. I think that's a big part. And you'll get to hear that when you're talking to franchise companies and speaking with the franchisees on those validation calls. You'll get to hear directly from franchisees if the franchisor has that open door policy, if they're supportive, if they're acknowledging of any issues and trying to work with you and help you. Anything I'm missing there? Because I think that's a big piece, and it's an area I see a lot of people not asking about.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. I think it is. I think it is being able to be accessible, right? And letting your owners, I keep saying franchisees, they're owners and they help us build this brand every day, but knowing that they have that accessibility to the team, and that they have the freedom, right, to say what's on their mind, because they are part of a family. What family discussion have you had within your own? And it's always been positive or great. And the one thing is that I truly believe that everything has a solution. And if we know about it, then we can help solve it. If we don't know about it, that we can't do anything about it. So we always really try to end every conversation. We tell our team, let me know if there's anything we can do. Please don't be, whether it's carrier pigeon, email, text message, our phones are always open. Our doors are always open. But to become a better brand, we need to hear from our owners, wrong or indifferent. And as long as you can accept that openness and not know that you're the master of all the answers, I think your brand can continue to grow in a positive manner. And then it leads really to some ownership on our owners, right? For example, something came up and I said, did you let anybody know? No. Why not? I didn't know if it would really affect anybody. Actually, let's put it out there. You bring a problem to me, I'm going to ask our franchise performance directors. A lot of people in this world call them coaches, but they are responsible for between 30 and 35 locations per FPD in our organization. And they are there to just focus on those locations and being able to help. So I think the more that we can communicate to them, hey, put this out to your division or your region, see if they're having these same things, then it's easier to move that needle to correct anything that we need to address.
This level of support is crucial, especially for new owners. But new franchisees often face a whirlwind of anxiety about the startup process. How does Brugad Brands guide them through the initial overwhelm, from legal setup to hiring, and what innovative approaches do they take to training and continuous system improvement?
Thanks for tuning in. If you want to learn how to make the transition from corporate to owning your franchise, join Giuseppe on the next episode. You can also follow on all social media platforms and achieve financial and time freedom today.